thing that I'm thinking of, or no? No, I didn't. Why do I always forget this? I should probably go up then. I should probably go here instead then. But yeah. Like, I'm going to be a little bit stressed because of the fact that, like, it's going to be on the day in which that I have very little time to prepare for. Plus, somebody's going to be here in order and is going to have, like, a lot of loud things happen. So it's like, well, I'm not going to have a lot of great time to record that. So while that day is only going to be, let's say, for an hour and 4 minutes, like normal, that's still going to be incredibly inconvenient for me, too. Like, that's still going to be incredibly inconvenient. But it's not inconvenient in a bad way. It's just inconvenient that, like, I have to go through all that, and it's like, oh my god, I gotta go through this, and it's like, I gotta go through all this recording and stuff like that. It's just tedious work for me, pretty much. But I can get over it. It's not that big of a deal. The one thing, though, that I could definitely say, though, is that, like, I want to get the final Teal Mask complete done before the weekend. Because if worse comes to worse, I'll have to upload the complete despite the fact that, like, I can't upload 4 completes. Which is A-okay. That's not that big of a deal that I can only... I can only upload, let's say, 2 completes. That's fine. It's not like the whole weekend has to be about completes. It's just that, like, I like it when, like, the entire weekend's all about completes. The one thing, though, is that it has to be on a Sunday, though. Because I hate it to be like Saturday, completes, and then Sunday it's like, ooh, better times, pretty much, right? Because the only thing I can think of is just that, for the most part. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get through all of the Pokemon. I'm going to try and get through the Ogre ousting stuff this weekend. Or not this weekend. Yeah, this weekend, I think. I'm going to try and get that done. I'm going to hope that we can get it done. So that at the very least, though, it's like that slid across the side and then we can just work on, like, we can focus on something else. Because that's all I really want to focus on. And not to mention, though, that, like, at the time of this recording... the plan is this. So, on the... Hang on a second. On the 13th, so pretty much a day before the Indigo disc comes out. Because it comes out on the 14th. So, on the 13th... of December, I will be buying a homebrew Switch. And before anybody says that, like, oh, he's doing it just so he can cheat and hack and stuff like that, that's not what I'm doing at all. The only reason why I want a homebrew Switch is because I'm getting sick and tired of tiptoeing around the fact that, like, if my Switch dies right now, I lose every save I have. I do. I lose all of them. Even though all of them either have a cloud save or whatever kind of thing, except for the Pokemon games, and a Yu-Gi-Oh game as well, they don't have cloud saves. I lose all that stuff. I lose them all. And you know what? I am a person that likes to make backups. I literally do. Mind you, I have been a little bit more lax lately of doing that. I mean... I think since... When was it? I know red, I think I kept on top of it, but I think it was blue or yellow, I think, that I started to slow it down. Even gold and silver, I haven't done it, so I know it's... So it's gotta be around Gen 1, I think. I'm not quite sure. That I just stopped keeping backups of the saves nearly... as much, pretty much. Because, like, I can literally go into my saves folder, and I can definitely tell you for a fact that I don't have gold and silver in there. Let's see here. Ah, it's gotta load. Darn you, hard drive. There we go. Let's see here. These are Game Boy Color. Pokemon Crystal. Yep. Crystal's not in here. But just in case Crystal's the only one, let's go with Pokemon Gold. Not here either. Let's go with Silver. Not here either. Oh wait, Gold does have one. April 4th. That doesn't seem right though, but that's just me. But yeah, so I keep a backup of all these just in case. And even in my Nintendo's, like, I do have a folder for Nintendo Switch games. There's nothing in there. All it is that, like, it has a separation of between the user data, pretty much. So, like, between my normal, my backup, and then my one that I used for Diablo 3 for the channel. That's literally all that's there. And while I did create a Nintendo Switch profile specifically for the channel, it was only supposed to be for Diablo 3. Mainly because all the characters share the same inventory. And because I did a lot of cheating pretty much on it, but it wasn't like external cheats, it was just like, it was an oversight because of the Switch. It was an oversight on my wallet too. That I didn't figure out how to do it properly. Oops. To be fair, I didn't know how it worked, so that's my fault. So how it's supposed to work is that, like, you're supposed to use your Joy-Cons, and for some odd reason, I don't remember why, but it wouldn't let me play with the other, it wouldn't let me activate the other Joy-Con. For some odd reason, it wouldn't let me play with the other Joy-Con. And I couldn't understand why it wouldn't let me play with the other Joy-Con. So what I did is that I bought the game a second time. I think, yeah, I bought the game a second time, and it still wouldn't let me play it, and I still couldn't understand why. So I tried... And I can't remember what I did. What was it? I think I tried... Yeah, because, like, I know I spent, I bought it a second time, and I think I bought Nintendo Switch Online, I think, a second time, because I thought that was the case. Then it turns out I was just doing it wrong, and so when I was able to do it correctly, I was like, oh, there we go, I did it correctly this time. I was just a very silly guy. Who spent, I think it was like, what? I think Diablo 3 was like, what, 50 bucks, I think? Was it $50 or was it like $60? I can't remember. But I bought it twice. Hey, it's better than buying like Shield twice with DLC. But to be fair, do I regret that purchase? Sort of. I regret the fact that, like, I bought Sword and Shield. I bought Sword and Shield with the double pack. And for some odd reason, and I didn't understand why they did it this way, but now I kind of regret that I didn't do it the way that I should have done it. Because it would have made more sense, and it would have been much more easier on me and my wallet, pretty much, for doing it. Because instead of me spending about $300 on 3 games with DLC, I could have spent $200. Which ideally would be better. So what I mean by that is that so when I bought the double pack, it comes with sword and shield, but it gives you sword first, and it gives you a download code for shield. So you get the benefits of the double pack, but you also technically get the benefits of getting like one of them pretty much. If that makes sense. So you don't need to activate both of them at once. You can just activate one and then the other, pretty much. So if I had my brain screwed on at the right moment, what I should have done was put sword on my main account and then put shield on my backup account, instead of buying shield twice and then putting the other copy on my backup account, like I did. So was I a big goofball? Of course I was. But do I regret doing that? Not really. I regret the fact that, like, I had to go through like, at that time... Was it before COVID? Yeah, it would be before COVID. Even was a huge factor in terms of my, like... into my pricing. Like, it was before, like, I paid attention to how much I spent. If that makes sense. And I'm not saying, like, I never paid attention to my wallet and go, I'm very low. No, I just... It's more like, how do I word it that it makes sense, though? It's like, oh, because it's Pokemon and it's $90, I look at my bank account and go, okay, it's fine if I spent, like, you know, this much on Pokemon. But for a normal person, that doesn't make sense. And while I am using American prices pretty much to see the price of the game and the DLC itself, it's still pretty much significant. Like $300 for like 3 games that you could have just spent like 180 on is stupid. And was I a big goofball? Yes, I was. And the reason why I had to do it that way, like the reason why I had to pay to buy Shield a second time, was because of the fact that in order for me to go through a raid den, like to host and then be able to join in kind of thing, you actually have to own the game. Or at least the way that I sort of interpreted it as is that you actually had to own the game. And the way that I found this out, and the way that I found this out was because I tried to play. Maybe it was because I set my account to have that Switch as my personal Switch or something like that, or my home Switch, if you will. So maybe that's what was wrong. But pretty much, I tried to plug in. I tried to let. This was around the time where I had 2 Switches. because I was able to do the whole raid thing this way. And what I tried to do was I tried to start a den on one save, on the save with the 5 stars, and then let the other game just benefit off of that one save, pretty much. And instead, I found that there was a way harder chance of me just doing that. It was just more difficult just to do it that way. And that's why I ended up just going with... that's why when Isle of Armor came out, it made grinding for experience so much easier. It made grinding the experience points that I needed so much easier because Blissey was easy to kill, because it has very low defense, even though it has high HP and high everything. And if you use Zacian, which has a high base stat total for high attack, and not only does it have high attack, it has high attack